Now it is officially on, and we're not going to fuck this one up.
Man,
I'm speaking that into existence.
it's a whole bunch of times about people asking Theo Vaughn if he's ever said the N-word or whatever, right?
Oh, yeah.
But he goes, yeah, man, I'm not trying to be racist or anything. He goes, I'm not racist. He goes, occasionally I have a flare-up in traffic, but...
All right, let's go, bro, shall we?
Let's do it.
Welcome back to 307 Reacts. Wow, we didn't even plan that. I'm Matt, that's Chris. You guys are you guys. What's up? How's it going? On the screen in front of us. I know. You guys are out there like all the hog fries out there, all the hog fam. What's up, guys? You guys like, yo, you guys haven't been, Tom posted this video like 3 weeks ago. What the hell's going on? Well, here's what's up. Let me tell you exactly what's going on. Actually, let Chris tell you exactly what's going on because I explained in the video yesterday. So, his turn.
So,
it's tragic.
We got excited.
It's tragic.
A little overzealous, perhaps.
One could say, yeah.
We were going to go see one of Tom Macdonald's dearest friends, Brandon Hart, in Denver, Colorado.
Oh, I should have worn my Brandon Hart shirt.
Oh, wow. I wore mine yesterday because I planned on wearing it.
Yeah.
But then we didn't shoot yesterday, and then it got covered in Freon, so now it's...
Ironically enough, I wore mine yesterday also, but yeah, okay, here we are.
Anyways. Yeah, so we went to go see Brandon Hart, and we took a camera with us, and we cleared what was on the card, which happened to be 2 reactions.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
So
I thought that I had transferred them off because I checked the reactions for later in that week, and all the files were there. So I just assumed if the files for the end of the week are there, well, then the files for the beginning of the week are probably there because that's how we transfer them. Turns out I had not transferred the files for the beginning of the week, and which is like also an ironic one-off that normally doesn't happen either. So it just happened that here we are. So we did have this one recorded. We have seen this video already.
And we have checked out the home free.
Yep.
The Squirrel Revival. That was the other one.
That was the other one we lost.
We are here back. We have seen this one.
We have.
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent. I actually went and watched the live stream with Tom and John.
Nice.
And that was an excellent, they just had really good stuff to talk about.
It's so cool to watch these two completely different worlds come together and like because of the same purpose, basically the same reason,
Yeah.
And for John Rich to be someone who's been through the ringer, like he's been in that world. He's been signed by big labels. He's had those #1 hits, and been on that ride.
Been ghost writers for bigger bands and stuff. He actually talks about that in the live stream.
See,
writing stuff for like Faith Hill, and he actually in his, and now I don't remember if it was Big or no, because maybe it was Big and Rich when he was with Big and Rich, or it was the Rangers or the Lone Rangers or Lone Star or something was a band he was in before. I forget the name of it. But anyway, he tells the story of a guy came up to him and was like, hey, man, I'm looking to audition with this label. And do you care if I use some of your old songs, from this old project? And John's like, yeah, that's cool, man. Like I'm glad they had an effect on you and you want to use them. And the guy ended up getting signed, and his name was Jason Aldean. So
that's right.
It's crazy how he's like.
We watched a 2-minute clip on that or something like that. I think. Yeah. I remember you showing me something on that. Maybe it was part of that interview or something. But I remember him saying that happened to be Jason Aldean. It's like, okay, wow,
crazy, man.
The people you meet and the connections you make, man, can make all the difference in the world. So, this is great. This is a great video. Just wanted to preface that. If you guys will do us a big favor, hit that subscribe button. That's all we're trying to do this year is get to 50,000. It's a big jump. We're just trying to push as hard as we can. It's a push and grind kind of thing, and we're really just trying to encourage you guys to subscribe to the channel. It literally makes all the difference in the world to us, and it doesn't cost you guys anything. If you want to go a step further, throw a comment in there, like, share, hit the Patreon, throw in some of those affiliate links, whatever you got to do to help us out. But the subscription is really where it's at for us. So if you do that, we would really appreciate it.
Yes.
Shall we?
Let's get it.
Let's do it.
I know the end is near, the television telling lies. I know for sure the revolution won't be televised. I know that we've been waiting patiently for better times.
Tom's dad there, right?
Men are blind, get recognized as genocide. Feel like the bomb about to drop out of the clouds. Another virus going airborne, go hide inside your house. Farmers watching crops die, they drying up with droughts. Angry people forming crowds and trying to burn the cities down. This is Armageddon, martial law for our protection. I talk to God, but it's long distance and I lost reception.
Should we go back and see what that newspaper said?
Yeah, that's actually what I was just about.
Armageddon, martial law for...
Oh, cool. It's just it's the title for the song, Tom Macdonald featuring John Rich.
Which Nova on her channel, which I haven't seen the whole thing just yet. I want to catch it.
Martial law.
Yeah, there we go.
Crop circles appear nationwide. UFOs spotted over major
Landmarks.
Yep, sparking something frenzy.
Yeah.
And then something our only hope. But like, is that Toy Story?
It looks like
what is it?
I don't know what that is, but yeah, okay, interesting.
Yeah. But they actually have stuff written on the inside. They have pages and pages of stuff that they made. And Nova goes over it on her channel. What is the channel? Was it not Nova Rockefeller or something?
It might be.
YouTube?
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway, check it out. Like I watched part of the video. I didn't have enough time to watch all of it, but she talks about some of the articles in that paper, and it's just hilarious.
That'd be cool to react to watch that, because I would be interested to see like what they came up with for some of this stuff too. Because I can already see AI in like there. I'm sure there's AI. So I'm wondering if a lot of this is AI generated, making AI talk about itself.
They wrote all of it.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Yeah. Well, all right. I want to find out what it says.
But it's really funny, some of that stuff.
I'm interested.
Protection. I talk to God, but it's long distance and I lost reception. Forest fires and oil spills are the awful lessons. I'm just waiting for the devil to take over heaven. This is biblical. I swear it's in the Bible. We keep killing one another and we dying for survival. We used to fight for peace. We put our flowers in their rifles. Now we're about to be extinct. Every man, woman, and child.
If it's the end of the world, I will do better next time. Oh yeah, I know it. Yeah, I know it. If it's the end of the world, I know that I have lived my
Got all those cans on the counter now.
fullest. Yeah, the fullest.
You know, that's interesting, the phrasing for that, right? So I'm going to back it up here just a little bit.
I know it. Yeah, I know it. If it's the end of
UFOs mistakenly abduct carrot farmer. Mistakenly. So the news knows who they were supposed to take. Part of that thing, like, oh, the media's in on it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I like how you guys phrased that mistakenly.
Yeah, like what were they supposed to take?
Yeah.
If they mistakenly took a carrot farmer.
Because they weren't looking for carrots.
Yeah, what were they after?
You know,
or maybe they were, and maybe that's why like they were taking all the carrots, and there just happened to be a farmer there, and up he goes. Whoops, up. I guess he's up there too.
We talked about this in the last time we reacted to this, where it didn't pan out.
Didn't work. Yeah.
But he goes, we fought for peace, put flowers in their rifles, and then now we're just here fighting for our survival. Like, that's such an interesting, and we talked about, which I'm going to bring it up because you guys didn't see it, but we talked about Jordan Peterson talking about how a healthy life is a balance of chaos and order, and chaos doesn't exist without order, and order doesn't exist without chaos. It's a good versus evil. One does not exist without the other, and they both have to exist for life to exist.
Yeah.
And
in order for there to be a quote unquote bad, then or a quote unquote good, then a quote unquote bad has to exist. There has to be a reason for the good to exist.
Like, it's a really interesting, even the phrase itself, fight for peace. Peace implies that there's no fighting. Mm-hmm. But for there to be peace, you have to fight, which is, it's something. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it just kind of blows my mind as to, it makes sense. I'm like,
I just have the Star Wars theme playing in my head. Like, fight for peace, bro. That's like what the rebels are doing against the Alliance, right? They're like fighting for peace, basically. Yeah, like they're just.
It's crazy, man. But like that, and that's the thing. It takes a strong person to fight for peace. It's if you guys ever watched the he was the guy who voices Optimus Prime.
Oh, sure.
And he was at a Comic-Con, and they let people ask him questions and stuff, and they asked him about his audition to go for Optimus Prime, and he was talking about how he has a brother who is a very decorated like war hero and stuff, and served time and seen a lot of bad stuff, and he's trying to keep his brother, number one, from just killing himself because he just can't live with all the things, and he kind of gets him into a therapist, and helping him through his life, and they both live in an apartment. He's trying to get him a job and, get him back on track. And he said, I'll never forget when I told my brother about this audition. And he's like, oh, that's cool, man. Like, you're going to go audition for like a lead role of a movie. And he's like, well, I mean, kind of a lead role, but yeah, like an important role. And he goes, so what are you playing? He goes, well, I'm going to be the voice for a truck. And his brother's like, huh? Oh. He goes, well, yeah, he's a truck that like transforms into a robot, and he's the leader of what they call the Autobots, and he's like there to help the humans and, all of this stuff. And his brother said, well, don't be the the leader that's the he's the big tough guy, and he's got Arnold Schwarzenegger, get to the chopper, what I mean. He's like, don't be that stereotypical guy, be strong enough to speak softly. And then he proceeds with Optimus Prime's voice, and it gives you goosebumps. Mm-hmm. It's like, because to be strong enough to speak softly and to be strong enough to bring peace when there needs to be peace is a real place of power that a lot of people confuse weakness for peaceful. And weakness is not peaceful. Weakness is, weakness. Like, you're kind of useless at that point. Like, be strong enough to be peaceful. And it's a really different place to come from, but it's the best place you can be.
I got nothing. That's it. Let's just move forward,
Sorry.
shall we?
If you guys understood that, cool. If not, just carry on.
Cloud emojis. Let's go.
The world, I know that I have lived my life to the fullest. Yeah, the fullest. We stood on top of mountains. We've been to space before. We had our dogs and houses. We dug up dinosaurs. We built those bombs are dropping. We fought in all their wars. Now that the sky's falling, what did we do it for?
Feels like the end is near, our freedom's disappearing. People playing God, call it genetic engineering. Media misleading us and evil's interfering, while the government we need became the power that we're fearing. Our billionaires are going to space, don't blame them for leaving. Birds are falling out the air, fish washing up on our beaches. This is end times, humans got a deadline. Children are the future till we ruin them with headlines. Should be past their bedtime, but everyone's woke. They told us chase a dollar that made everyone broke. I feel like cryptocurrency is probably our last financial hope. Soon enough the government will leave your bank account froze. Judgment day is coming, you can run or you can stand and fight. Panic in the dark or lead rebellions by the candlelight. This ain't your granddaddy's planet Earth, it's black and white. The end is coming, I'll see y'all in the afterlife.
There's so much
to unpack.
We could have paused like 4 times there, and I remember now that we're watching it back, we did pause a couple of times during that whole thing because we were just like experiencing it all for the first time. But there's so much that he divulges on there, like they
say chase a dollar, then
they
make us broke.
They trained us to chase the dollar that makes us broke, because the dollar isn't worth shit. And like, and then he talks about, they were playing God, but they call it genetic engineering. And then he talks about I think maybe our last hope is the Bitcoin, and the digital currency. And it's like, there's so many, he goes over so many hot topics there in quick succession that it's like, okay, hang on a second. So I remember the last time we watched through this, I asked you about
the Bitcoin.
About the Bitcoin. Yeah. So what? Let's. I'm interested in that.
Let's regurgitate.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm interested in that.
So here's the thing: Bitcoin has to be linked to some sort of routing number to either get it or buy it. You know what I mean? So you can either purchase Bitcoin, or when you cash it out, it has to go. It's electronic. It has to go somewhere. It doesn't translate to any physical anything. It's
just
all an idea.
Number. It's all a number. Yeah.
So and we talked about the gold standard and all of that good stuff. But like the biggest, the safest way to make sure that your money is yours is to just physically have it. You know what I mean? You can't trust it. We saw that with Silicon Valley Bank. They went under and couldn't even pay back. I mean, they made a whole bunch of bad investments and couldn't even pay back the people who had put money into their bank. And they are just horribly screwed. And you're like, well, that was my money. Well, when you put it into a checking account or a savings account, they use that money to purchase
that money
whatever, to loan it out or whatever.
That money belongs to the bank
and when you sign your little papers to get your thing, that money belongs to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And you basically just borrowing it back.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, and then we got off on another thing here, which we're going to get off here on now, is, okay, so let's say you get your paycheck, you take it to the bank, get it back in cash. The cash is only worth as much as the idea that cash is worth.
It's like art.
Because
it's literally like art.
Because without the gold standard, or if we still had the gold standard, you could theoretically take that paper and say, hey, I own this much gold. I would like to trade you this cash for my gold.
Which technically you still can do that, except the value in gold that you get for the amount of cash that you pay is...
Well, it's not quite the same, because when we had the gold standard, they said, hey, we have this much, let's 6 million pounds of gold or whatever. We'll just make something up. 6 million pounds of gold is worth this much. And so they print money to represent that much gold.
Yeah.
Right? And as the gold increased in value, they would print more money and put it into the... And there was never more money in the U.S. economy than there was gold in that vault. It never exceeded the value of the gold in the vault. And if it did, they would start taking, like, let's say, for whatever reason, which I don't think has ever happened in the history of mankind, let's say that the value of the gold went down, then they would take money off the streets and shred it. Like, just to make sure that you had the same, whatever dollar amount was out there was backed by a gold bar. Well, when they got rid of the gold standard, now everything's an idea.
Yeah.
So, like, a $1 bill isn't really worth $1. It's worth whatever you think it's
worth $1.
Whatever society thinks it's worth.
Yeah, the societal value for $1, yeah.
It's a wild thing to think about.
And, like, what happens when we get to a point where it's literally just... I mean, we're almost at that point now. I mean, a lot of us don't operate with cash at all anymore. A lot of us just operate on debit cards, credit cards, whatever the source may be. And how often do you ever see actual money from that? You literally don't. It's all just numbers on a screen. So you basically you're already living off of, like, just your life is based on a number on a screen, essentially. And that number is dictated by the company that owns the screen that you're looking at. Like, you're looking at that bank screen. Well, that number technically belongs to the bank, and if they want to take it from you, they can just take it from you. And like, oh, sorry, you're SOL. Bank went under. Nothing we can do. Like that. That's it. And so, especially, I don't know. That's why the digital currency thing is weird to me too, because it's such a controlled system. They can just shut off things when they want to. Like, oh, you can't do this today. It's like the automated cars thing. Like, they can just shut your car down. You're not driving today. Like, we just shut off the grid. You're not driving today. Or like, you're not spending money today because we froze your number.
We were talking about this when we were in Denver. I really hope that Ford actually is able to go through with this thing. If you guys haven't looked into this, I encourage you guys to look it up. It's hilarious.
The repo yard thing.
So Ford, in the development of their EV vehicles, has proposed an idea, and supposedly they have the technology to back it up, but they still have to get these things approved by DOT and, like, Department of Safety
EPA.
and, like, EPA.
All
and
that shit.
They had to go through all of this crazy... hey, are these engineering ideas safe before we actually spend the money to put them into thousands and thousands of cars? But here's the proposed idea, okay? We want to install a system on our EV vehicles that if the customer who purchases this vehicle defaults on the loan or fails to pay, that instead of us paying a towing company to go out there and repossess the car, we would like our cars to self-drive themselves back to the dealership or the bank,
the repo lot or whatever. Yeah.
And here's the funny thing, right? So you read this whole thing and they talk about, like, okay, so you miss 1 month of payments, you just get kind of a warning on the dash. Hey, your payment's due, or your payment's past due.
You owe this much, yeah.
You get to month 2, you still haven't paid it, right? all of a sudden your blinkers just will not shut off. Your blinkers just do all sorts of crazy annoying things. Or you'll plug your seatbelt in and it still dings at you like the seatbelt's not plugged in. You miss 3 months or 4 months, and then it's like, hey, the horn just honks all the time. Just never stops. And if you still don't pay it, then the car just drives itself back to the dealership.
See, and that's the regulation stuff. You got to figure out how you can get away with having your car do all that crazy shit and still be drivable. So there's a lot of moving parts, but literally a lot of moving parts. But
it's such a hilarious. I would love to see it one day.
I just want to see
Ford
it.
with the horn blaring, all the lights just flashing, the seatbelt dinger going
driving
off,
to the dealership,
the windows just rolling up and down, all random, and the door locks locking and unlocking. Nobody's in it. It's just driving back to a dealership.
And you just see it pull into the dealership into a parking space. Someone didn't make their
payments. Okay.
All right, that was a long digression. Let's get back into it.
Planet Earth, it's black and white. The end is coming. I'll see y'all in the afterlife.
It's the end of the world. I will do better next time. Oh yeah, I know it.
The racing camel.
I know
Yeah.
it. If it's the end of the world, I know that I have lived my life to the
No kidding.
fullest.
Relevant, bro.
Yeah, the
Relevant.
fullest. We stood on top of mountains. We've been to space before. We had our dogs and houses. We dug up dinosaurs. We built those bombs are dropping. We fought in all their wars. Now that the sky's falling, what did we do? It hits the
Tom gets and I don't know if Tom wrote the chorus on this or maybe John did, who knows, but listen to the questions or the question that John asks in this. What did we do it for? He lists all of these great things, and when it comes to the end of the world, what does any of it matter?
I like that he mentions, we built all these bombs. We went to space, we built these bombs, but then we dropped them on ourselves.
Yeah.
And what?
We climbed mountains, we built houses for our dogs. We
put our dogs in houses.
We did good and bad things.
We built bombs, then dropped them on ourselves. But for what? For what reason? Because now the world's coming to an end, and it doesn't. None of it matters. It literally none of it matters.
Yeah.
Which is the over-encompassing message of the whole thing. It's just
we
work really hard. But at the end of the day, the pale blue dot theory still is, that's the thing. We're just
consumed by
we're just a little speck of sand in a sandbox, man.
Neil has a way of just sucking me in.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
God, man, he sucks me in.
There's a reason he's like a philosophical professor or whatever the hell he is. I don't remember. I don't know. He's an astrophysicist. I don't know.
He does something with space. I don't know, but
quantum physicist or something. I don't know what the hell he is.
But the question of what do we do it for? But then, okay, so you try to come up with your reasons, right? Let's say you can't come up with any. Well, then what is the reason we're put here for? And I think that's kind of the overall message of the song. It's supposed to leave you with a question of, okay, we're here, we're given this time. What
are we doing with it?
What's the most significant thing that I can do that'll actually make a difference when everything else hits the fan? Mm-hmm. When it comes to the end of the world, what's the one thing I can do that actually still mattered? Because building bombs, going to space, none of that shit matters. What really mattered? And that's a question you have to answer yourself.
And to be honest, any way you look at it, if the entire world disintegrates, nothing, literally none of it matters. It doesn't matter if all the buildings are gone, all the animals are gone, all the trees are wiped out, there's literally nothing there. Then you could look at it as it seems like we wasted a lot of time building a bunch of shit that we didn't really have to worry about, if it was all going to be. But then, at the same turn of the chord, you can look at it as structural engineering is pretty fucking impressive. Dudes that build bridges, bridges are pretty goddamn impressive. The way we can span across mountains. Literally, we can bolt a goddamn wire into the side of a mountain and then put a road across it and drive across mountain ranges.
Wild.
Pretty wild, dude. So, yeah, there's ways to look at it from both sides. It's just, it's a really good, they leave you with a really good, it's a Tom song. It's a Tom song. What do you do?
And, it all depends on what it is. Maybe if you're a construction worker, then the thing that matters is making people's lives comfortable. I'm going to build this house to their specifications because it's what they want or whatever. I get that. You know, maybe you're a musician and you're like, the thing that matters is maybe at the end of the world, they'll sing one of my songs because it brings them comfort.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it like that's the type of shit that you have to find. What is it that matters to you? And
that's your legacy, right? Like that's your legacy.
Yeah.
That's literally what that is. And
so,
you hope that carries forward and inspires somebody else or inspires a future generation, whatever that generation may be.
So Tom and John, man, they have a way of bringing it out. Let's finish it up.
Off we go.
We had our dogs and houses. We dug up dinosaurs. We built those bombs are dropping. We fought in all their wars. Now that the sky's falling, what did we do? It's the end of the world as we know it. It's awful that it's over.
I love that he throws a rock at it. It's so good, dude. And it drops the cow.
Down at our phones, they'll drop a bomb from a drone, then an explosion. We should have known it.
We stood on top of mountains.
Shouldn't have flipped him off, bro.
We had our dogs and
He's still doing it. Fuck you.
We built those bombs are dropping. We fought in all their wars. Now that the sky's falling, what did we do it for?
Shouts out to Nova and Jared.
Dude. And like I love that.
So we had the question about the UFOs and all that stuff. So Jared edited all of that in.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yes.
It's not AI generated.
And that's in the Nova.
That's
thing
in
that I
the
didn't
thing.
finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
it's been one of my favorite things about Tom ever since you've introduced him to me is he's got, dude, at his core elements, he's a fucking punk rocker, and I don't care how he wants to try and hide that. That's fine. He can hide it any way he wants. But when you see him running away from a drone, or a UFO that's literally shooting a laser beam at him, about to kill him, and he's still going, no, fuck you, bro, no, fuck you. Like, that's punk rock shit all day long, and he's out there in his fucking sequins and his tassels and shit, and he's just fucking running through the desert flipping off a UFO because he's pissed off. I love that shit, man.
And it's like his dad told him, he's like, son, I know it's rap, but like, you're writing rock and roll. For his dad's generation, that punk rock wasn't really a thing. I mean, I'm sure it was, but it wasn't anywhere near where it was popular.
No.
But rock and roll used to be that. It was like a fight the Rage Against the Machine and like all those guys that come before. And man,
you see him do that stuff, and it like I can see myself like getting in trouble with Tom or something like that, and him just kind of like, he just kind of seems like he's got that personality where it's just like I don't give a shit personality, what's the worst that can happen? You get a little roughed up, you might get in some trouble. Yeah. Okay,
whatever.
Okay. I think the experience is going to be worth it, so we're going to do it. Flip the guy. Go. Oh, he's coming. Dude, he's coming. Don't get hit. Fuck you. Like, I can just see myself doing that kind of stuff. Like, I just feel like he's got, and watching his behind-the-scenes videos with Nova and stuff, I feel like they're very much that kind of a personality. Yeah. Like, they're punk rock fam. I think that's why I like them so much, is because I can see that in them, man. Like, they got punk rockers. They like Stone Cold Steve Austin and shit, and they like drinking beers and stuff. It's like, dude, you guys are punk rockers. Like, I see it. But you're also very successful business owners, and like, obviously Tom is a successful rapper. He's not a punk rocker. He's a rap artist. I get that. I know that. But like, at his roots, I can see it. Being a musician, I can see where some of that stuff comes from, and the little troublemaker attitude, man. And I love it. That's what attracts me to want to watch his videos and dive into them. Is he's got something for everyone, and we've said that before. It doesn't matter what kind of music you're into. You will find something you enjoy with Tom Macdonald, with Brandon Hart, with the whole gang, dude, with Nova Rockefeller. You'll find that honestly with the multitude of the stuff on our page. I'm just gonna shameless self promote. Like, we've got something for everybody out here. So if you're not a Tom fan, that's fine. If you're not a Ryan Upchurch fan, that's fine. We've got like 50 other artists on our page that you can choose from. You will absolutely find something out there. So, but yeah, dude, I just love it. I love that he can bring a bunch of different worlds together in one video without even trying. It's great.
Speaking of other artists, I sent you a thing on Facebook Messenger a while ago.
Okay.
That I think we have to add to the watch later list.
Okay.
But I'm going to have to make sure that I sent it there. But I completely forgot about it till just now.
Perfect.
You mentioned other artists. Jelly Roll's another one that you guys can check out. He has a song for everybody. Like
he really does.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. He really does.
It's so funny. We were at work, and I had Tom Macdonald radio playing, and one of Jelly Roll's songs come up, and it was the one with Ryan Upchurch, and it's called Vows. And Jelly Roll raps on that quite a bit, or at least a little bit. And Mason goes, "That's Jelly Roll? I didn't know Jelly Roll could rap." And I was like, dude, Jelly Roll
he started rapping. Yeah.
like he stopped rapping for a little bit, made the country music charts, made the rock charts.
Yep.
You know, Son of a Sinner went huge and all of this, that, and then he came out with Vows, and people were like, oh my God, he can rap. It's like, dude, he's been rapping. Like last 10 years he's been rapping.
Yeah, he's been rapping for a long time.
So it was a cool thing because he's like, oh, dude, I didn't know. And then he started diving into his other stuff. So it's always cool. Like if you find a new artist, just take a dive. Just take a deep dive.
Yeah, why not?
If you're new to Tom Macdonald, check out his page. He's got a lot of good stuff. You go, hey, this song wasn't really my cup of tea, that's fine. Go check out another one.
He has so much other stuff, man. There's
Find
so much
a title
content.
that you go, what?
You go, wait, what is that?
That's the one you want to watch.
Yep. He literally has one called People So Stupid.
Yeah, People So Stupid.
That's a great
Snowflakes.
I sing that in my car to myself all the time driving through traffic. People
Having
so
a flare
stupid.
up, huh?
People so during one of my flare ups. Yes, that's one of the songs that comes through my head. Yes, especially driving down the interstate,
God.
man. People so stupid, people so dumb. Like, come on, man. Anyways, that was 5 out of 5 material all day long. Tom is grandfathered in on that. He's one of the hardest workers we know, and his success is obviously showing that.
Yeah.
And it's
and shouts out to John Rich, man. He has been one of my. I remember as a young kid, Big and Rich being one of the first country bands that I actually just fell in love with.
Really,
like I heard the Conway Twitty and the Johnny Cashers and stuff, but when I was young, like that music was for that's what Grandpa listens to.
Yeah, that's
like,
for the old guys.
Listen to that, you know.
Yeah.
But then I remember hearing the album "Horse of a Different Color" by Big and Rich, and the album starts off with this just crazy synthy piano chord. And let me see, what does he say? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to country without prejudice. And then, bum, bum,
nice.
And it just, you're like, dude, this fucking rocks. Like, and I remember being a kid, that just changed my whole, that was the start of my country music journey. And so, John, if you ever come across this, we're a small channel. Maybe you will come across
That'd be neat.
I would just like to say, thank you for putting out all the good music you have throughout the years, even though I understand working with a label sometimes can be difficult, arduous, and not fun to do. But you put out music that made a difference in my life, and I just want to thank you for that. So,
and what a cool collaboration of worlds.
Yeah.
Like, what a weird thing to think about from an outside perspective, that a country artist and a Billboard chart-topping rap artist would get together and come up with like a collaboration song about the end of the world, all through becoming independent artists and kind of separating from mainstream music and things like that. Like, dude, what a cool story, man. Like, it's just such an interesting thing. Chris brought this up in the room, and he was like, Tom's got a new one. It's with John Rich from Big and Rich. And I was like, huh? And
there you go. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. Oh.
And I'm like, and still like, okay, but huh? With Tom? Okay. All right. I guess we're going to, but Tom always has a way of doing that. He brings in artists that we're always like, how's he going to work with that? And then the song comes on and you're like, okay, yeah, that works. Yeah. Cool, great. So 5 out of 5. Keep it up, Tom. You're killing it. John, we support you and your adventure for independence, and we back that all day.
Which John has a new song out called, I believe it's called Progress. Check it out. He's actually, he mentioned in an interview, he's been getting pushback from the mainstream on this song because it's very Tom Macdonald inspired, against the system. But be sure to go check that out on Spotify, download it on iTunes, Amazon Music, all that good stuff. It's really good. I've listened to it myself. So
there we go.
Check it out. Support independent artists. Do the thing.
Buy merch.
And
merch money typically goes right back into their pockets. So go to their merch store and buy merch. That's the best way you can support them.
Quickest way to get them cash in their pockets.
Yep.
But if you guys enjoyed this video as much as we did, be sure to leave a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, click the bell, become part of the notification gang. And with that, we'll see you guys next time. Bow.